Hi friends, welcome back to the e-bike noob. Today we're going to take a little break from riding and just do some maintenance. We're going to go ahead and change the brake pads on the Ariel Rider X-class. So let's have some fun. Alright, so we're not going to need many tools. We're basically just going to need a couple of those Allen keys there. Even that small one is going to be optional. We might not even need that. But on our right here, we've got our replacement brake pads. These little cotter pins that they come with, to be totally honest, I'm not even sure what those are for. I have never used those in any of the brake pad changes I've done. So let's just go ahead and get rid of those right now. To simplify this even more, we're probably not even going to need this Allen key, so let's also get rid of that. Which brings us down to really three things we need. These are the same things. We got two different Allen keys. Let's not make this a big deal. Let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to remove this bolt and this bolt down here. This is going to basically take the entire brake off of the bike. This is so we don't have to remove the entire wheel. That is an option too if you wanted to go that route, but I found this is just way simpler. Again, I've seen a whole bunch of different ways of doing this. I'm just going to show you my method here, which is not super complicated. Always be careful, don't lose any of your screws, bolts, nuts, whatever. Alright, so this just comes off there. Go a little close up on it. And now we're going to need to take off this bolt here, which is just a smaller Allen key. That's going to allow us to remove the brake pads from the inside. You can see they're kind of pretty worn in. And then we're going to put the new ones in. So let's move on. All right, so step two is to remove the old worn out brake pad, which is this small Allen key bolt. So we're just going to remove that. Nice and easy. Comes right out. Let's see, yeah, good shot there. We can see that okay. Again, don't lose that. Now we just want to remove the old pads. You can kind of just poke them out through the top side and kind of pinch them through. Removed. So, come up, grab the camera here. Here's our old brake pads, and you can see they're pretty worn down. There's not much compound left down there, so get rid of that. And that's what the inside of the brakes look like. So we're just going to kind of put this back together using our new ones. I'm going to put some gloves on. I've heard, and I'm sure this is pretty true, but you don't want your oils and grease and everything getting on those brake pads. That's how they'll squeak. So I'm going to put some gloves on real quick, try to keep this clean. Alright, so here's our new brake pad. You can see there's just a lot more compound left on there. I hope you can see that okay. But we're going to go ahead and basically insert that into our into our brake, and we'll have nice fresh brakes. So to do that, just literally put it in there. There's really only one way that's going in. And you can kind of see it coming out through the top side once it's lined up properly. So, all right, sometimes this happens. I hope you can see that. It's kind of got a little out of whack. So instead of trying to force that, we're just going to reset our little spring so that it is sitting nice and even on the brake pad. There we go. Let's try that again. So everything's lined up okay. Let's just place it gently in there. That's good. It's well good, as Sam Pilgrim might say. Oh, out of whack again. Really, if I was wearing regular like rubber gloves, this wouldn't be happening. But these, I don't have rubber gloves at the moment. Just these thick monsters, which might have to get pulled off. All right, let's try this one more time. Go ahead and insert gently or forcefully, whatever your style is. And we're going to want to see it just coming through the top. There we go. And we can see everything's sticking in, lined up even there. We are going to have to kind of pry this open in a moment. That's sometimes happens, so we'll show you that step as well. But now we're going to take our, I'm going to get rid of our gloves because that's just really annoying. All right, now we're going to take our small Allen head bolt, get it through there, you'll notice, and I'll show you on the old brake pads here, there's a hole kind of in the top. That's where our Allen key is going through. Or sorry, our Allen key bolt is going through. And we just want to thread that in. You'll push that in. It's not threaded all the way through. So you'll basically push in that smaller bolt until it hits the threading on the inside of the brake. So it'll hit the threading there, and then you start tightening with your Allen key. You don't need to like overdo it, but it doesn't start threading right away. So just something to kind of watch for. Okay, so we've got our compressed brake pads here. We're not going to be able to get these over our disc, so we're going to need to pry those open. And I use this. This is just a little kind of pry bar multi-puller tool. To do that, let's get up here. All right, so you can see we have just a tiny bit of a gap between our brake pads. We need to widen that up so there's enough clearance to get over the brake disc. And again, I've got this just kind of little multi-puller tool here, but on the one end it's thin, flat, and pretty stable. So we're going to use that to just kind of ease this thing open. Get it in there a little bit. And you just need to kind of pry it. Now, I don't like using a screwdriver for this or anything too small, because I don't want to dent up this compound. I don't want to make it irregular in any way. So I find this little tool is just wide enough to get enough clearance. Let's see if we can get a better shot. And that should be plenty of clearance to get over our disc. Let's see. Like a glove. So cleared. Gets on there nice and easy, and it'll loosen up after we hit it a couple of times. So now we're going to take our two kind of main bolts that's holding everything together. We go one on the top. Now don't tighten these all the way, just kind of get them in there, finger tight for now. Okay, now that we've got our main bolts back on there, we need to just tighten everything up. But we need to make sure that it's centered properly on that disc. Otherwise, we're going to get some weird sounds. It's going to drive us crazy. So to do that, it's really simple. All you got to do is come up to your brake lever, squeeze it. I'm going to have to set my camera down while I do this. But I'm going to squeeze that brake lever as I'm finally tightening those bolts down. And that way, it's just going to ensure everything's centered up. So let me put my camera down. I'll do that and then show you the end result here. All right, front brake is complete. Feels great, nice and tight. We're gonna move on to the back here. All right, friends, welcome. As always, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're liking these videos. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do me a huge favor and just click that. It really helps the channel out. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things while we kind of watch this little fast forward of the rear brake here. But number one, it's a 3mm and a 5mm Allen key that is needed for this job. And that's according to Tektro's website. So nothing fancy there, nothing out of the ordinary. Number two, I'm sorry about the dirty bike. I know, it's dusty. It's a lot of just like crushed limestone that you pick up when you're riding around on those trails. Sorry about that. I'll try to clean it up for next time. I get these replacement pads from Amazon. They're pretty cheap. They're like $20 for a 4-pack. So they're really inexpensive. They don't last very long. Maybe next time I'll try the actual name brand, like the Tektro ones, and see if that makes any kind of difference. Maybe we'll make a fun, experiment video out of there. And then lastly, just want to talk about how to break these things in. Pun not intended there, but you want to break them in. You don't want to just get out there and clamp them down right away. That'll kind of glaze them over, and they'll just, not be as effective as they should be. So, for the first couple of miles, just kind of ease into those brakes and just kind of, let them break in gently. In the beginning, I did show you the real small Allen key and said that thing is optional if you did want to use it. On these Tektro brakes, right up front, right at the lever, you've got a very small Allen key head. That is to change the amount of reach between the grip and the brake lever. So you can increase or decrease how much distance there is if you want more reach or less reach there. That's what that little tiny Allen key right at the beginning of that lever does. So if you were wondering, that's what that last one was for. Alright, so we just changed the brake pads on the Ariel X-class. Makes a huge difference. Takes about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes if it's your first time, but really not a big deal, and should be done every so often just to ensure you're getting the best ride you can out of your bike. The parts are dirt cheap. You can get, I think a 4-pack is maybe 20 bucks on Amazon, so it's really inexpensive, easy to do, and quick. So I hope this was a good tutorial. See you next time.